The Calgary Flames have seemingly found their next star forward, and fans are elated. In the first of two next-gen showcase prospect games, one former first-rounder and forward shone brighter than the rest, and his skills were on full display. Is Matvei Gridin the next Flames superstar? We're going to get to all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and let's talk about our next star. It certainly looks that way. I know it's just the next-gen showcase, but come on. This is exciting. Not only is it exciting for hockey to finally be back in a way, it seemed like this offseason felt so much longer than others in certain ways, but we get to watch the young guns go. They had their first game against the Oilers, prospects of a home and home, and the Flames came out with a 6-5 win. The Oilers got, I'd say, a few garbage time goals, almost made the comeback, I guess. It wouldn't be shocking at all for the Flames to cough up a big lead. They almost, was it 6-2, I think it was, and then it ended 6-5. But either way, the Flames get a big win. Was super exciting to watch. It was great that the Flames were just streaming it off of their website so you could watch for free. They should be doing the same for the game tomorrow in Calgary. And yeah, a 6-5 win obviously means lots of goals, so it was a lot of fun to watch. Now, if we get into kind of a point recap, as Logan Gordon points out, as the best that he could. So Lang got 1 goal and 1 assist. Brisson, a goal and 2 assists, kind of out of nowhere. He gets a goal and 2 assists. Gridin, of course. I've heard that name pronounced so many different ways now. So Gridin is kind of the way we'll say it going forward, but we've heard Gridin, we've heard Gridin. Gridin, I guess, is the most North American English way we can probably say it, but for now it'll just stay with Gridin. Sorry. So 1 goal and 2 assists for him as well, just like Brisson, 3 points. Phenomenal. Battaglia, 2 assists. I thought he played really good as well. Man, he's flashy. Sunyev, a goal and an assist. Exactly what we wanted to see. Sammy Honzik gets a goal as well. It's all the, regular suspects at this point. Carter King, the Calgarian, gets an assist. Phillips gets an assist. Bell gets a goal. And Skvortsov gets an assist as well. So lots of people getting on the score sheet. And like I said, kind of some of those big names, those players to watch in a way, in Honzik, in Gridin, in Sunyev, in Battaglia. Those forwards that you really wanted to see produce, and they certainly did over in Edmonton, which was fantastic. And though a lot of people had great games, obviously there was one man that really stood tall compared to all the others, and it was Gridin. He looked absolutely unreal, and a lot of people were pointing it out. So Robert Munich, he says the Flames rookies win 6-5 in Edmonton. I thought there were a lot of players that stood out for positive reasons tonight. It starts with Matvei Gridin. He was the best Flame on the ice. And he honestly was. He looked unreal. So fast. He looked so fast, so dynamic, obviously skilled, can score, can set it up. Just honestly, he looked so good. Munich here also says Brustevich, Morin, Phillips, Sunyev, Battaglia all looked solid as well. And Brustevich and Morin on the back end definitely did. But hey, he wasn't the only guy saying this. Flames prospects, so at Blasty Prospects on Twitter said, call me crazy, but I think Matvei Gridin can and will push for an NHL job this year. His speed and hockey sense are at a pretty high level. And look, I think a lot of us are probably maybe overreacting slightly and really bumping it up. Look, he was playing against the Oilers prospects. That's not exactly playing against, the Florida Panthers that just won the Stanley Cup. But still, it's, the Flames forward core has some really good players in it, but there's definitely should be some open spots at training camp, and Gridin definitely could push for it. Now, I think just the way the politics go with the game, and internally within all these organizations, he won't start at the NHL level unless he really tears it up in training camp and the preseason as well against a little bit better of competition, kind of like Honzik last year. But I think in all likelihood, he won't be starting at the NHL level. But that doesn't mean at some point he won't be this year, which will be very, very exciting because, again, he looks absolutely unreal. And fans were so excited as well. It wasn't just people on Twitter. So in the Flames Reddit, one guy here says, been hyped for Gridin since we drafted him. Can't believe we got him and Basha. Connie cooked taking him in the first because he certainly wouldn't have been there in the second round. He looks like he could be something special. And again, it was one game, but he really did did look like he could be something special. Now, obviously, Gridin was the second of 2 first-rounders, not in this most recent draft, but the one from last year where we took Zane Parekh in the first round, and then Gridin at the end of the first round, thanks to the, I believe it was the Elias Lindholm trade. Didn't we get that first rounder from Vancouver in the Lindholm trade? So thank you so much again, Vancouver. Not only did they give us Brustevich, but they technically gave us Gridin as well, which is right now looking phenomenal. But it's so true. He would not have been available in that second round. Unreal that Connie and the rest of the scouting staff were able to scoop him up, because again, he looks like he could be the next star for the Calgary Flames. He could be a future superstar for sure. And it wasn't just this guy saying, we had lots of people talking about it. So one person said, wow, Gridin's fast. And he is. He's really, really fast. We have Cullen Potter, who we just drafted this year. He looks really quick. Gridin looks really quick too. Imagine both of them on the same line. Hoo-wee! Another person says Gridin is a freak. I honestly think teams passed up because of attitude or something. And remember, there was all that talk about his grades and his smarts. Well, his hockey smarts are certainly there, so that's not a worry at all. I don't think it's an attitude issue, but again, we'll have to see about that. But so far, so good. Another person says, I think Gridin could steal a spot still early, but holy, he is looking promising. So similar to the one we looked at a second ago, he could fight for an NHL spot this year for sure. Will it be right out of the gate? Not too sure, but at some point, whether it's due to injury or bad performance or illness or anything else from one of the other players, trades obviously, there's a chance. There could be a chance that he finds himself on the NHL roster at some point, which would be so, so exciting. Another person says, I think Gridin might actually have a better shot than Suniev. That's just my eye test though. Definitely based off this one game, a lot of people would agree with that. Suniev, he also played pretty good. There's no denying that he was really good out there as well. He didn't quite, have the showcase, I suppose, that Gridin did, but he looked really good. But both of them should be fighting for spots. And then last one, just holy Gridin looks ready. And does he ever? He must have been practicing all summer, because he doesn't look rusty at all. And we also had reporters talking out about it, as Wes Gilbertson wrote a little article after the game. So he wrote 5 Calgary Flames hopefuls who impressed in the next-gen victory over the Edmonton Oilers. So he says Sam Honzek, Matvei Gridin, Owen Say, the goalie, Masio Phillips, and Nathan Brisson impressed for the Flames rookies in Friday's win in Edmonton. We're not going to talk over all of them. You can definitely feel free to go read the article. Phillips had a fight. I think Hurtig had a fight as well. There was definitely another fight. I can't remember who was in it, but there were lots of fights, lots of goals, lots of things to obviously be excited about, and a lot of people did impress. But let's see what Gilbertson had to say about Gridin. So he said, you notice 2 things when Gridin has the puck on his stick: his speed and his confidence. That can be a heck of a combo. There were several occasions Friday where Gridin left a defender in his dust, including one where he ripped a shot off the crossbar. By the end of the night, the Oilers seemed to anticipate that Gridin would use his wheels to burn wide, and yet they still struggled to stop him. The 19-year-old right winger was ultimately rewarded with a goal and an assist. So goal and assist, I know Logan Gordon earlier said goal and 2 assists. I think it was 1 goal, 1 assist, but either way, he's really good. There will be some growing pains as Gridin embarks on his pro career while he's eligible to return to junior. We assume he'll launch with the AHL's Wranglers, but his skill set is worth getting excited about, and his speed could fast track his NHL debut. And I 100% agree with all of that. Yes, he can go to junior. I think he'll probably just go to the A with the Wranglers, but at some point, with his speed and skill, he could make it to the NHL at some point this year. But either way, he looks like a stud. And I know it's one game against not the fiercest competition, but he really, really impressed. And it's something to get excited about for a fan base that needs some hope and excitement for sure. So, hey, we love Mr. Gridin. Now let's get into the comments of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. It does come from yesterday's video, which was about the prospects and stuff, but it was commented after the game last night from Roy. So Roy said, awesome game. Didn't like the Oilers comeback. Of course, hey, at least they didn't come back all the way. It was garbage time goals. But either way, they looked like Connor tryouts. Go Honzek, go, for sure, looked great. How about Suniev? Also looked great. I like Phillips. He looks like a monster, obviously, with that fight as well. Mark, we are stoked, and we are. Hockey's finally back, and it was so exciting to watch. The game tomorrow should be super exciting as well. I didn't pull up a graphic for it for anything, but I believe it goes at 4 p.m. Mountain time in Calgary, local time. I think it's 4 p.m. And again, it should be streaming off the Flames website to watch. So should be super exciting once again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.